Hey everybody, I hope that you're doing well today. Welcome to my mini vlog about Christmas and New Year's in Japan. I'm sorry that it took so long to upload. I would say that I was kind of busy, which is half true, but mostly I was just a little bit lazy in editing this. I hope that you all had a wonderful festive season though. How was your New Year's? What did you do? And do you have any plans for 2023? So my sisters told me that they're going to come visit me this summer, so I'm pretty excited about it. It's both of their first times visiting Japan. I can't wait to show them around and eat some tasty food together. So because this is the first Christmas that I spent without my family, I found that I was doing a lot more things, for example making gingerbread or having mulled wine, just to help me feel a little bit Christmassy. It did work, it was quite nice, sitting and munching on Christmas snacks while listening to some Christmas music. And we had a very Japanese style meal for Christmas Eve. But yeah, I think in the future maybe I'll spend Christmas in the UK and New Year's in Japan. I also made my infamous port and cranberry sauce again this year. If you've been on my channel a while, you might have remembered this from last year. I made a little video about it. But yeah, it's still one of my favourite things to have at Christmas, especially with some cheese and biscuits, or just on leftover sandwiches. Plus it's super quick and easy to make, and you only need a few ingredients: oranges, port, sugar, cranberries and a few spices. Which is why I usually make it on Christmas Eve. So I don't know how long this sauce actually lasts, because usually it gets eaten within a couple of days. I also made stuffing for the first time ever this year, which, to be honest, I was intending on doing anyway, but I don't think I would have had much of a choice because you can't find stuffing readily in stores in Tokyo. I decided to go for a simple sage and onion stuffing. I looked at a couple of recipes, but then I just decided to wing it and followed what I remember my nan doing when I saw her making Christmas dinners so many times in the past. And I was really pretty pleased with how it turned out. I did have to add a few extra breadcrumbs to get it to the right consistency, but it was pretty good. This was also my first time cooking Christmas dinner completely by myself. I've only done it once before, and even then my sister did the turkey and she helped out as well. I've always said to me, happiness is cooking for lots of people that I love and then sitting around a table together and really enjoying each other's company. Maybe next year. As I mentioned earlier, because of my missing out on my family and friends, I made up for it with mulled wine and sweet treats. Which, you know, it was still pretty good. Maybe not the same, but still pretty good. And please ignore the mess in the background. We're in the middle of sorting out a few things. So in Japan, there's a tradition that before the new year comes, you have to clean basically everything in the house to make sure that your house is clean and fresh to welcome in the new year. So with my gingerbread, I also made these cute little shortbread snowmen. They were so tasty, and I packaged a few of them up for a gift. Do you prefer when people make you gifts or buy them for you? For me, I'm just grateful to receive anything, to be honest. But I think that handmade gifts do have a special charm. And then it was time to sleep and wait for Santa. Excuse my face, I had just woken up and wanted to check on Mr. Turkey. And I started my morning with coffee and a mince pie because, you know, it was Christmas. I was really surprised that we could find mince pies. They weren't exactly the best, but, you know, maybe next year I'll make my own. And speaking of things that are difficult to find in Japan, there are also a few Christmas, what I would call essentials. I suppose they're not essentials here, but my essentials that we couldn't find. For example, gravy we had to make from scratch. Also, beef stock is really difficult to find here. If anybody knows where I can find just beef stock in Tokyo, please leave me a comment and let me know where I can buy it. I had a little bit of a nightmare with that one, but the gravy turned out okay, I think. And we also got a traditional Japanese style Christmas cake with fresh cream and strawberries. It was super delicious, but very different from the Christmas cakes that I'm used to. And we also got this delicious stollen. After dessert, it was time to open some presents. A couple of minutes ago I was shopping and I saw this really nice pair of shoes, which I tried on and I loved them, but they were a little bit expensive, so I thought, maybe if they go on sale, I can think about it. Anyway, I completely forgot that they existed until my boyfriend gave them to me as a present on Christmas Day, so thank you. I love them. And then we went out for the evening to look at a few things for New Year's, but also, more importantly, to see the beautiful Christmas lights that decorated Tokyo. The illuminations were so beautiful. But one thing did shock me, and that was how busy everything was. I've never really experienced before on Christmas evening so many people flooding the streets. Another thing that surprised me was the type of people who went out, the huge majority of which being couples. Now, I have read and I have seen online that in Japan, Christmas is more of a couple's holiday rather than a family holiday. So I don't know why it surprised me. I think maybe just seeing it with my own eyes made me realise it even more so. It was still lovely though, in its own charming way. I also grabbed a hot coffee from the konbini just so I could stay warm as I wandered around. I ended up spilling it all over myself, but I didn't even notice until I was editing this next clip. And we ended our night with a final view of Tokyo Tower before going home. And then one last dessert. We had to have a traditional UK style Christmas pudding, of course. And yes, we set it on fire because that's what we do on Christmas. And now time for a completely natural time skip. So Happy New Year! We had a selection of lots of different traditional Japanese dishes for New Year's. We had soba, osechi ryori, I made chikuzenni, namasu, and ozoni. It was all super delicious. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, I hope that you hit that like button and look forward to seeing more vlogs in the future. I'm going to try in 2023 to be a little bit more consistent. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, bye bye!